I'm exhausted trying to take a picture. You just, every picture you're just like, so I'll try some and they weren't working. And I'm sweating. So I just thought, do it. Wassail! Mum not said that at the beginning. I need to plug the computer in as well, though. That's interesting to know that you get a slideshow of me moving around, trying so hard. Everything had like wires and vehicles and stuff in the background. I can't see anything. I haven't got my glasses on. Oh, and you've all been there. You have a frozen picture of me, Lisa. That might have been me just taking pictures. If you haven't, you need to believe you can see the stream, because we've got a new stream here, and everyone yesterday that said they couldn't see it couldn't, and everyone that didn't could. Someone keeps ringing me, and I don't know where my phone is. I can hear it. Oh, it's in the bowl. Just give me a sec, because I should have turned it off. Calls. I have to send this friend a message because she'll keep ringing me. So I just put, sorry, I'm live. There, now, that's that dealt with. I need a drink. Hello, everybody. So, today's my mum's birthday. And as you know, she's dead. But I feel like she's here, and it's Beltane. Maybe it's, I forgot to look up what's astronomical Beltane. Can someone look up the date for that so that we know whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th? Because there's an astrological one and there's the one that's always today. I need a drink. I also forgot to bring all my water, and these were frozen, but in taking all those pointless photographs I didn't like. Thanks, Eve. Eve did a Libra reading yesterday with 3 aces and the magician and me. Oh, I'm throwing water on me now. Yes, that's right. Happy birthday, Kathy's dad. He's dead too. I was just going to say that, Kathy. Today is your birthday, May the 1st, 1981. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sean. So, I feel, I don't know, how's everyone else feeling since the eclipse? I had such an epiphany with all of you lot yesterday that I might just delete all previous videos because I don't believe in any of them anymore, because I've got a whole new philosophy scooting around my head trying to make itself understood since I had that connection with the divine masculine and began to get a real understanding. And I was like, I know, I'll go on live today and I'll talk about the divine masculine. But you know what? I know there was a clarity for me yesterday. But I'm not ready to do that. And I'm also very aware that my mother has demonstrated in my life her divine masculinity and divine femininity through pregnancy. And this eclipse tunnel is the one when I was in my mother's womb. So there's a real connection with that divine masculine, supportive, pain-absorbing frequency that mothers have. And I'm not saying the fathers don't. This is what's become so difficult. I've got to rework my language because it's too gendered. So I thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I was going to just try and do some personal readings, but there's going to be like a fist fight. So thankfully, Eve is here, and Eve is really good at a list. So I'm going to Eve decide your fate or order of fate and whether you get a reading or not. Because Eve is a genius. And if you don't watch Eve, you should watch Eve. So, yeah. Thank you, Eve. I love you very much. Thank you. Happy birthday to my mum. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yay, 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 yay. Maybe we should just, sorry, I know I've just said it, Eve work it all out. But Sean, his birthday is, maybe we should do you a reading if you'd like one. Sean, where you gone? I'll let you come in. And yeah, I'm not singing names because I think this is going to be long today. And so I'm just going to let the energy flow. Okay, cool, Sean. So what I'm going to say is, I know people often will say, what would you like to know about? But I've discovered over many years of reading, it doesn't matter what you think you want to know about. Spirit always wants to tell you what it thinks you need to hear. So, Sean, I will begin with your bell. With your bells. Thank you, Eve. Because I can't follow and I don't know how to pick. And I'd rather everyone just got annoyed and blamed you. So, look, it's Sean's birthday, everyone. And my mum's. And I'm sure you don't know her, but it's also Joanna Lumley's birthday. And she was Patsy Stone in Absolutely Fabulous. So, let's go with Sean's bells. Now, Sean, I immediately, the energy was of real comfort. And actually, it was like peace, man. It was that kind of frequency. But also, and I don't know whether this is me picking up on Eve's energy, but surfing. Eve's just done a whole series where she's relating to everything in surf terms. I think you're riding a comfortable wave, or a comfortable wave is available to you, Sean. So I'm gonna try and do you a poem each. We might run out of poems. Wassail, everyone. We're on Sean's birthday, my mum's birthday, and it's hot here today. Humid is what I want to say. It's always hot. There we go. Oh, look. Unwardness. This is the present gateway. You need to become present in the energy around you. So I'm going to read the poem because that will help us to get an idea, Sean. Let's get them open. Let's get them open. When am I coming to Canada? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know because I'm here waiting on dental work. And I don't know how long that will take because at the moment they're looking at putting a denture in and me getting used to that. But he also wants to explore whether he can try implants again. And I don't know about any of it, but I'm trying, as Sean is, to just be in the present and to see what spirit brings, rather than me fighting it. So, poem number 70. Onwardness. So it begins with this word temple gate, which is an Anglo-Saxon word for the gateway into a temple or into some holy site. Are there any other words that need translating? I don't think so. So, onwardness. Onwardness is the non verdandi, the present. And what better day to be present than on your solar return? So, Temple Gate, created by us. Unpick the past threaded traumas clogging your previous future pathways. Collect the tales of woe entangled around you, stopping you stepping into the current time flow unhindered. The embroidery of the now. Do not look backwards nor forwards. The present step, Sean, is the right step. Dreams need current action. Willing for and hoping for will fail to deliver any tangible future. Sean, there's your own life rather than sort of, it's a pleasure, honestly. It's lovely to give you this gift today. It's your birthday. It's like there are dreams that you have, and there are dreams that you have as failures that stop you moving forwards. And actually, both of those energies are blockages. They're like thorny briars that gather around our future possibilities. And that, all of those, whether they happened or didn't happen, or whether they've hurt you or made things difficult, they actually don't matter if you decide to action something new with spirit. But don't, it's really interesting. We often hear this thing about how to materialize things that come into our lives. You do it by making them have immense detail. That's old earth magic. It doesn't work anymore. This new earth magic is about trusting the direction that spirit and you can create for your life together. Yes, you have to have an actionable dream, but you don't have to give it all the details, because the more you add details actually to a manifestation now, the more long-term and complicated it becomes for spirit to bring it into reality. So I'm gonna go with the 9 realms, all the 9 realms. See, I'm going to ask what your spirit team has up its sleeve. I don't know why I'm asking that. What does Sean's spirit team have up its sleeve? What does Sean's spirit team have up its sleeve? What does Sean's spirit team have up its sleeve in this solar return? I want to say some kind of new truth, absolutely for sure. And it's going to kind of spin in and spin back out. And you're going to be kind of like, did I just lose my mind then? So questioning your soul somehow, Sean. Right, so Come on. Odin and the 9 realms. I chose the wrong colour shirt today. I'm a little bit wet. What message have you got for Sean's solar return, please? What message have you got for Sean's solar return? Come on. I'm not talking decks. You have to give me a message from here. Oh, bye, Sheila. There we go. We got one. I want more than one. Thank you. Oh, I just glanced down, Sean. It's good stuff. Let's put that across. Right, so the first card that fell, that was looking up at me all the time and I didn't look down until I got a second, is Elfamir. Elfamir. Elfamir is like the highest form of heaven. Yeah, look, Sean, you don't have to write, because if you don't write, I don't have to read anything, and then I can focus on your message. It is much easier. And the mods are there to deal with everybody and talk with everybody. Elfamir, this is an energy of, I want to say like a renewed light, a renewed spirit connection, a new direction, a new movement. But they're kind of, there's an impatience with them. Well, no, that's not true. For you to take some kind of step that you know you need to take. And they're not impatient, they're really patient. But the energy coming from the card is, we're still here. We're still ready to take your hand and walk with you. But you need to action again. You need to action your step in the now, free of the doubts created by the past and the future that always feels fleetingly far away and ungrabbable. They're saying, grab hold of us in the now. Bye, Heidi. So, Madir, this is the energy of, I want to say, they're saying, embellishing the now. Look, have a look at this symbol. How close is this? If you just weave around here and pull that down, you get this opening. It's almost like your own self-beliefs, self-doubts, your own position within the greater humankind makes you question the space of walking in the now. It's time to walk in trust that every foot you put down is the perfect step that you're meant to make. They're like a light. They're shining a new pathway, an elven path. Yeah, I've never said that before, but it's showing me like a kind of a lit path. I'm moving into you is what they want to say. It's time to become you, not the you that you be, that you what's the word I want to say? Not the version of you that you become because you want to please another person, but the you that you become because it's you, pleasing you, doing what you need to do. So being at one with your inner light. So let's bitty small titchy Thoth and get a little bit more on that. The birds are shouting for you. It's interesting that your solar return this year is in an eclipse tunnel. So they're saying to me it will be very transformative. But with everything, these are energies that Spirit is offering to you. It's whether you want to engage with them and own them and pull them in and enjoy them and walk with them and learn from them and question your being and change your philosophies, because you have to do a whole series. It's like going in, I was going to say it's like going into a clothes shop and being given a whole new costume to pick up. But actually what they showed me was, as I went to say that, it's like going into the natural world naked and you've actually got to weave the clothes. You've got to create the whole thing. It's not just Spirit goes, welcome to the magic dressing up shop, and you can put on this new outfit and live the life of a cowboy. It's about, you have to work to make all the changes. You've got to really think about what you want. Sword of Truth, Ace of Swords. And that's the current most important energy. How do you coronate yourself, crown your consciousness with your full embodied truth? That's what's being offered to you. The bird's just over there. It's a brown and yellow bird. Kathy, what's a brown and yellow one? It's a much stumpier, shorter shape. Sean, back to you. I feel like that was a thing about how you're gonna be tested, given opportunities, but not tested so much as it's a wonderful opportunity being offered, but it is kind of slightly you want to distract yourself from it because it feels too big a pathway. I don't think so. Oh, windy, but this is today about, I had this card this morning and it was coming across as a sense of, it's always called the gardener. It's the energy, the emperor for me, of how you prune your life, how you make your life more emotionally peaceful, calm, riding that, surfing that wave that's coming in, Sean. Hi, Eve. Is there a list? Petra, of course there's a list. It's Eve. She's the best list maker ever. Mary the Jewess frequency. This is your solar return of seismic transformation. If you want to grab at it, if you want to start living in the now and trusting in the now, it's all coming good for you. Right, Cynthia, we went through this yesterday. If you can't see me, you will not see me. I've had a new system fitted, and if you believe that the internet is fogged, it will be fogged. You are manifesting and materializing it. I can't do anything to change it. And I did say to myself, I was going to ignore any messages, because yesterday so many people kept saying they couldn't see, couldn't hear because they somehow didn't want to, that I lost all, and then I had to start again. So I think you have to try and trust your internet to deliver the message. So you have the Magus. You are materializing a new you. That's really interesting, because this, before yesterday's epiphany about masculine and feminine energies, this was always for me the emotional masculine and the hierophant, the divine. And this was the raw, and this is transforming. This is becoming an energy of divine. You're upgrading, you're transforming yourself, you're materializing into a new awareness of the power within you. You're being given this opportunity to self-empower. Self-empower. Power and the sun, your solar return is to empower you, is to bring you, Sean, into your own purposeful magic. It's honestly beautiful, unbelievably beautiful energy for you. So I'm going to stop there and move on to the next one. I'm absolutely dripping wet. Hello, everybody. I am not ignoring you, although I am as well. So Eve is keeping a list of people for the personal readings. I'm going to try and keep them short so that I can get as many of you in as possible. But look, if I don't get you in, I will do some more another day. And you'll get yours on the day you're meant to hear it. All right. So next is Peggy from the Magic of Eve. And I need to pop cards back. I need to have a sip of water before it gets hot, because I bring it frozen. That was frozen half an hour ago, and now it's not. Spirit 111111. I'm sorry to hear that. I also want to say that actually, I was thinking about you last night in Eve's reading, because Eve got 3 aces and then the Magician, and I was like, that's for ones. That's Spirit 111111. It was a Libra reading if you want to watch it. I'm supposed to be looking after this. I've only got 2 bottles. Yeah, Eve will add you to the list for your birthday tomorrow. So I'm doing Peggy. She's Peggy Sus. Peggy's sussed. Oh, I'm so wet. Right, bells, Peggy's bells. Peggy, I've lost a stick. Oh, there it is. Lost my striker. Right, everyone, focus on Peggy. Peggy, I'm not asking you want to know, because Spirit never does that. Spirit just tells you what you need to know. So that's the only rules I'm following, but the cards will tell you what you need to hear best for your highest purpose. So Peggy, I got spring, I got sucker, I got suckling, I got lambs, and then rather cruelly, I got mint sauce. There's something to do with, it's an old energy. There's some kind of, I feel like it's somebody from your family who's no longer with you, who would have had some kind of very strong memory of sitting down to a lamb roast dinner with you. Anyway, let's get you a rune and a little poem too. I did just want to, sorry, I am with you, Peggy. I just want to see if that was all right for Sean. Sure it was. Sorry, Sean. And my phone is still ringing. I should have turned it off. I'm doing a Patrick. Oh, thanks, Angel. Reem. So, Wassail Reem. Yes, so lamb lunch. Who is this? You see, now that's really interesting. I was then... No, it's not about you eating lamb. It's not about you eating lamb. It's them. It's something that was to do with them. And it could be that they are showing me their previous life. I wanted to say that there was an energy of farming as well. But it's not about you eating it. It's something to do with a reference to them. Because there was a kind of giggling cruelty to the mint sauce part. I was like, oh, that's nice. So, oh, here we go, Flursa. You see, it is about passageway from girl to woman. That's when this took place. So it must have been someone around you in that period of your life. This is Flursa. Yeah, Reem's good, everyone. So, Flursa, oh, I need the iPad to read your poem. So this is 67. We're on the right page. That's handy. So Peggy, a rite of passage into fertility, fluidity and creative potential, shifting in a divine moment, synchronizing blood to the cosmic cycles, stepping towards the moon magic of life. Womb flow from the sacral seat, the bloodlines through time that give form to life. To be in tune and to lose count of the structures that hinder all mystical progress, to accept and not question, to release resistance and be 13 moons frequency. I'm getting a really strong sense of not just fertility, but birth. I'm so warm. Let me just pull this towel over my face again. So yes, birthing was a very strong energy. Also, I was seeing the energy of midwifery, but also an energy of rebirthing. I feel like there was something, it's not trauma, it's not a regret. It's not, it's like there was an energy opportunity that slightly passed you by when you went through your teenage years. Something like this that actually changed your life in a different direction. And it's not about correcting that decision. That decision was exactly what you were meant to make, but it slightly, I feel like something moved your life to a different dimensional path. And now it's like that pathway is kind of renewing. No, Reem's not here. She sent me a message on my phone, so I forgot to turn it off. So there was a path that you were meant to deviate from, and you did. And now there's some kind of opportunity coming to reconnect with an energy that fleetingly came by but didn't manifest fully. That's the energy that I'm getting. So let's go with, I'm going to go for you with Mystical Shaman, Peggy. What have you got for Peggy? Okay, this is interesting. a card has jumped and it's turned over and it's stayed very locked in the deck, Peggy. So for me at the moment, and it hasn't before, but you know, I try and change the way things are seen. This is the energy that you missed a long time ago. It was an energy that was shed. It was an energy of a kind of, like the Ophiuchus frequency, an opportunity that, this is really complicated because time is very soupy. So I want to say very slightly, it's something that you regret, but not in a way that dominates your thought processes. It's something that you were meant to deviate from. And somehow that energy has been returning to actually bring about some kind of completion and a new creativity. That's what I'm getting. It's something, you see, look, what they're showing me is this circle with all this wiggling of two different serpents, two different lives that had to go in different directions. And this original symbol where that curling line is clear. There's a clarity coming on some old story from your childhood. So I'm going to take Alchemy of Astrology. Yay, Eddie girl. I love this deck too. I mean, I'm just having to focus on the runes to get them really in their proper shape. It was nice to get them both developed. So Sagittarius is the first energy. This is the alchemical process of unpicking a wound, is what I want to say in terms of what it's reading here. So this is when there's some kind of energy that clings to us, and it just needs, over time, it needs to be given emotional care. It needs a little bit of heat. It needs a little bit of loving. It needs transforming, and it needs to soften, and it needs to mollify. There's something that happened a long time ago that I don't think you've thought about for a very long time, that's just coming back up. And I think it's going to make you question I want to say how in some way you emotionally appease others for peace. There's a mellowness to you that's not truly you. I'm not saying that it's not. What I mean is it's not your full truth. There's a lot more power and frequency behind you. Okay, Peggy. So it next comes out with the sun, and this is happiness. This is life force. This is solar plexus. It's the light you shine rather than, there's something about rather than the light you poke with, because the poking is often easier to appease your journey. And it's like you stop poking because the scabs come off finally. And so you can now begin to be more in your frequency, more centered, more powered, and having a sense of your direction, Peggy, having a vital direction, knowing that's that thing right from the beginning. It was a deviated path that you were meant to go on, and now that's coming back, and you're coming back to your truth. And it comes with status, purification, the soul ablutions. This is my favorite new word, soul ablutions or phrase. Soul ablutions is to cleanse all that your soul has as slightly grubby, giving yourself a good spiritual shower, cleaning it all off and feeling refreshed. And actually, what's interesting is we had 46 and 46, North Node. Your true destiny is just a wisp away from you moving. You're polishing up your... I'm going to talk a lot, I think, in the coming months. Well, I think I am, I don't know. Who knows? It's all changing. But about personal philosophies. Oh, thanks, Kathy. So you are about to step back on to a lost frequency that's returning. But what I want to say is you didn't need that frequency before. It started to go, I want to say, in the passage from childhood and into adulthood. I think it has a lot to do with, I feel like, Peggy, you've got a really secret, wicked sense of humor that has been suppressed in order to survive the journey you've walked on. And that's going to return somehow. It's more than that. But laughter is a really important energy. It's almost sacral healing for you. Because the other thing I was going to say earlier, when it fell over there, and I forgot to say, this circle of the soul, this twisted, self-doubting energy that came about, has got this new clarity. And then what the sun shows us is how it is a new seed planted within inside you. So will you help me with my new journey? I'm going to say it's really, there is an energy from spirit at the moment, which is we have to find a way to help ourselves. It's really interesting and really difficult. I'm not saying I won't be able to help you with videos, but I think that there's a sense of you need to understand what you have within you that you think is, I'm trying to find a different word other than sort of like divine, emotional and raw. It's what energies are within you that you cling to. We all do this. We all cling to energies that define us, but they define us in somebody else's eyes, not in our own. And there's something about how it's been feeling, and it didn't come out till yesterday. Spirit, it's the difference. Oh, look, so this is how, yeah, I did think about this and discussed it with a friend. When I looked yesterday and we learned that little difference between divine feminine love and divine masculine love, that's what we're kind of looking at here. It's the different spirit. We want spirit to be nurturing. We want spirit to take us by the hands and bring us all we want. When we pray, we ask for things, divine feminine, in the way it's tried to help us, but we've become lazy. We've become, I'm not saying you particularly here, it's just coming out in your reading, Peggy, but we've all become lazy. We all want to materialize stuff and a better life, but we're not willing to face the shadows to do it. Spirit is now kind of declaring it will be more divine masculine in its approach which is a supportive love. They will support you. They will assist you. They will absorb your pain, but you have to action change. We all have to action change. We all have to find within us the ability to move forwards. So that's yours. You've got a new energy coming towards you, but it is about you trusting you. You've got this. So I'm going to put those back and we'll move on to someone else. I got to be a bit quicker, haven't I, people? Otherwise, I'm just going to do 4. So, Eve will tell me who's coming next. Wild wolf woman. Wild wolf woman. I need to have a little towel down, a little sit. And I do promise I'll do more of these. A few years back, before I set up, I used to work in a friend's magic shop. And they used to do these things which were 20-minute testers readings. I couldn't do it. I was always doing like an hour. So, I might have to change shirt in a minute. It's so uncomfortably wet. Do you like this is me. All this seaweed washed up when I was in Sicily, and I built myself a mermaid's tail and a wig. Right, Wild Wolf Woman. Here we go. I want to say what was coming through, first of all, was musical patterns, composition. Sorry, didn't mean to do it that way. Composition, confidence in a studio setting, and interruptions by the least creative people around you. That's a really interesting one. So that's about people who press buttons telling you they know better than you creatively when that's not their gift. Anyway, let's I'm so sorry, I've really got to change my shirt quickly, so this is too wet. Listen, Wild Wolf, I'm hearing you saying to people, listen, that's very sweet, thank you very much, but I pay you to press buttons. So let me just quickly change shirt because I'm dripping. And it's too uncomfortable. It's too damp. Oh my God, a dry shirt is so gorgeous. I got my nanon on now. They're blue. Right, I have to put that down there. I don't know what else to do with it. Right, let's get you a rune for a tune. A rune with a view. So, do you know what I kind of want to say? You need to say to your mum, by being a mum, your home is always my home at the end of the day. I'm sorry, mum, but when you made me a permanent home. Look, hang true, review, hang true. So let's get a hang true rune poem. Wassail everyone. I'm so sorry I'm not saying hello, but if I stop and sing and read all the comments, I've got my mods are in here. They're keeping an eye on you. And it allows me to tune into the readings because otherwise we just won't get any done. I'm trying to be very disciplined when really I just want to chit chat. Right, this is number 75. And do you know what? We're on the same, we're all in the back end of the cards today. We're in the really like end message area. On number 75. Hang through. Right, so this is talking a lot about Mimir. And Mimir is the guy who has the well and Odin hangs upside down to get wisdom. Okay, so she's bullying you because she still thinks she can control you. I mean, seriously, she just needs to accept you. So, this is, you know what, there is something about father frequency. There's something about things you do that your father did that's what she's trying to iron out of you. She wants you to just be made only of her frequency, because then in her mind you'd be perfect. Right, sorry, it's not, it is funny. No, it is funny. You've got to laugh about this. So, hang true. Mimir's well of runic wisdom, a time out of time where all are welcome, to hang suspended, to willingly sacrifice something sacred to seek wisdom. Mimir's clear instruction is to you directly and is for you to rationalize the answer that suits your circumstances. What that is precious to you are you willing to give to the well so you might truly be well? Nothing is free. You must give up something to make space for something new. Can you hang true? Wow, that's quite a bullish little poem. So, give me a second because they're trying to put something in my head. There is something about what are you willing to give up? I want to say other people's expectations. But also there's something in that that's your own expectations. Like, it's like wanting something so badly that you're pushing so much energy forward that it's creating a fog rather than a clarity. There's an impatience to Odin hanging over the well and wanting everything now. I always get the sense that Odin got off the tree too early. He didn't wait long enough for the full wisdom. Anyway, let's move forwards and see what we get. We're going to go with Odin. and the 9 realms. You're homeless. You gave up home. I'm homeless. I haven't had a home for 4.5 years. I don't have anywhere to nest. I gave up everything I own. You have Frigg. There is a destiny, but this is really interesting. Frigg has been coming across as a new energy recently. Thank you, Eve. Frigg carries this shield, but I feel like this shield acts as a kind of slight sacral protection. There's a fear of being hurt that's not allowing you to move forward. There's a fear, like I'm not saying go out and be really Billy Goat's gruff, but there's a fear in you to speak your truth. You're so used to a kind of compliance. In your mind, that's not true, but in your reality, it is. It's a kind of, like, we all have people that we need sometimes such a glaring truth to that it feels like you're delivering something toxic, but you're not. Sometimes we all need to hear a blinding truth. So this has got something to do with a confidence, a need to, just like that joke about I'm paying you to press buttons or whatever. It's that energy of sometimes just reminding people that you are entitled to your philosophy, your outlook. And sometimes it's also really important, especially with family, to be able to express something to a family and know that even if it upsets them, sometimes we all have to deliver uncomfortable truths. So there's something about having a greater sense of confidence in what you know to be true. Hang true. So, yeah, your sovereignty. So, Odin and the 9 realms. Sorry, I got caught up in the visuals of the avocado then. Odin and the 9 realms, Odin and the 9 realms. Frigg is here. Frigg is protection on behalf of others while protecting herself. But for all the protections that we make, there are always vulnerabilities. Yeah, it is. It is very oppressive, particularly in the studio. People always look. What you need to remember is anyone in a studio that makes any kind of criticism of you is hiding their own insecurities. When I used to go into the studio with people, artists, and I would say, they would go, "That was really great," and I'd go, "We should do it again, really, because that note was out of tune, the F sharp," and they'd go, "What F sharp?" And then they would say, "You need to get rid of him. We don't like him in here. He's making us nervous." And they have a kind of, I also once went somewhere, I'd been working with an artist for about 4 years, and she had a new producer who was quite famous coming in. And I was introduced, someone introduced him to me, and his first comment to me was, right, you need to understand how it works in my studio. He said, you don't talk to me unless I talk to you. And I said to him, you need to understand how life works. I'm leaving now and I'm getting on a plane and I'm leaving. You can explain to the artist why I've gone. Because no one in... But I feel like you're trying somehow to comply with them because you think somehow their assistance will create your destiny. No, you create your destiny. Yeah, I like that. Projected inadequacy. Do you know what? I did get on a plane and I left. And then, do you know what? Even with that artist, it started to go downhill. And then one day, she shouted at me, and I never let anyone shout at me. And I just said to her, I'm leaving now and I'm not coming back. And I've done that to lots of artists. You either have to be on a level of being a grown adult with me and accept that someone has to occasionally tell you that you're misbehaving, or I'm not interested. So, Rad, look, it's really interesting. You're on a journey. You're on a destined journey, and that journey is about to kind of open, but it only opens if you can hang on to your truth. Look, you've lost... She's got a crow on her head, because you shouldn't make any decision in Norse mythology without a crow on your head, without having a connection to spirit. But now the emotions of the journey, the shield is gone. You're allowing the emotions to come through. I feel like this is about, and the crow is gone. This is about a new type of, I want to say, writing new songs. You're coming into some kind of frequency where a new energy. So all these things you're going through right now, all these difficulties with your life are going to inspire songs. But what they're saying to me is don't get caught in the maudlin wrist slashing aspects of your life, but look at all those energies and transform them into something more sunshiny. So it's really interesting. It's really easy to write a song when you're sad, because you need to get that energy out of you. And more artists write sad songs. When people are happy and enjoying life, they don't sit down and write a song. And yet happy songs outsell sad songs. And it's really interesting. The other day I was somewhere and there was some ABBA songs on. I can't remember which one it was, but it's one about them all being miserable and getting divorced. But the song's really kind of up tempo. You just forget. It sounds like such a jolly number that you don't realize the message behind it. But there's something about you that energy of transforming is what needs to come out. So, what do the Alchemy of Astrology want to say? Ooh. I mean, don't be ruffled. Don't be ruffled. Oh, I think that one's gone down in all the drippy water from the ice bottles. Conjunction. And merge, focus. Right, so this energy to merge, to focus, to intensify your creativity, to amplify your creativity. All around at the moment, there's been a huge energy of transformation. I would say right now, even if it's just one, you need in this eclipse tunnel to write yourself a happy song. Now, the two energies hidden in the pack that are kind of winking at you, trying to get your attention, that you can grab hold of and use, a Pallas Athena and Moon in Virgo. So, Pallas Athena is this wonderful energy of protectress. This is an energy with protectress frequency. This is a protected journey. It's a really nice energy. You can be transformed really stunning composition, because this is arts, this is wisdom, and it's a heroic endeavor, as in a moment when it would be easy to sit down and write a tragic ballad, don't. Write something that completely turns your energy on its head, because that will turn on the energy of everyone around you. You will go in the studio and your new wonderful energy song will inspire. We're in a world at the moment that needs some joy, and you need to find that hidden in the depths of your soul and bring it out. You need to hang true to a kind of a dream, but not a kind of tragic dream. I want to say I once worked with an artist who was offered lots and lots of different songs because she was going to be writing this big album. And every single song that she was offered where she was singing any kind of melody or lyric about being a victim, she just went, I ain't doing that. I'm not going to be a victim in my songs. I'm not interested in it. So, Spirit is so censoring. Yeah, censoring everyone. I'm telling you, Spirit has got a new plan. So, trusting in flow, Moon in Virgo. And this is detail awareness. So I want to say that the energy of people, you can have an awareness, you can compose a song, you can make a tune, and then other people keep poking their nose in. This is about making a new energy that's so detail aware that no one can knock you off course. No one can step in and tell you they know better than you, because you've covered every aspect. And this has also got a kind of, it's about redefining your circumstances. Only love-based songs? No, that's not what I mean either necessarily. I mean, it's not the whole thing. This is just an energy where you've got to write some kind of feel good, some kind of uplifting, some kind of celebration song that just will be infectious. It's about looking, it doesn't mean all your songs have to be that. I'm not saying that you have to be someone that doesn't sing a whole album, you know, of victim songs. People love a maudlin ballad, you know, but they love more, and the best-selling songs are the ones that are joyous, that make us feel good, that make us feel happy, powerful, sexy, wanting to get up and dance. That's what I'm hearing, that you've got that in you, which will begin your transformation energy. So I'm going to let Eve get me another one, and I'm going to press on. Press on, press on, press on, press on, press on, press on, press on. But I want to say that even if there are things that you think define you as an artist, let yourself be redefined. Don't stick just to things that you know well, because in many ways, if the journey has become difficult, then those ways and those energies are not actually clicking with the energy that wants to push you forwards. Because energy always wants to push us forwards. It always wants to make something bigger. So, who's next, Eve? Did I miss? Soul Explorer. I nearly did miss, see? I'm just going to have a sip and then I'll do Soul Explorer. Right, that's really, really tepid water now. But hey, look, I'm not sweating quite as much. Right. Bells. What are we getting with your bells? The colour yellow, and then it went as in the colour purple, but I don't know what that means. The colour yellow as in the colour purple, then they showed me sunflowers, then they showed me sweet corn, then they showed me like a vale or a valley or with a stream. Start to tap, dab, tab, dab, dab, tab. Oh, that made the bone in my nose click. Oh, and then I burped. I'm so sorry, Soul Explorer. Right, so let's get you a rune to get this underway. You hate the uncontrolled sweat to creep up on you. My whole life right now is one long uncontrolled sweat. I've never had such salty skin. There was something pastorally idyllic about the bell energy. I don't know what that means, the colour yellow as in the colour purple. I've never seen the film The Colour Purple, I don't think. So I can't even begin to understand what that might mean. Right, Soul Explorer, please, a rune for Soul Explorer. Not that one, it didn't jump out, it kind of hovered. No, I've got no idea, but they were just very adamant. And then it was sunflowers, and then it was sweet corn. Right, so we've got mortar, calc, anchored. This is a very deep rune. It's also the last of the Anglo-Saxon runes. There's something in that. I'm getting a real sense that there's something ancestral. And I did see, I wanted to say Wales with that little house type valley brook thing. And this has got the energy of Wendhorn hidden inside it, but it contains a double Gununga gap. Like there's some kind of, there's something needs putting back in the void. Something needs putting back in the void. Poem. We need a poem. What colours are you using to make purple? Red and blue. But that's not strictly true because you can use cerise. You can use all kinds of colours behind purple. It's like purple. Ah, well done, Gustav. Purple is not a true colour in the light frequency. Purple is seen as a spiritual colour. We don't have the icons to see true purple. And they say we create it with our mind. So why the color yellow being seen with the mind, for me, would relate to the core energy of the world, of the earth, because that's a golden energy. And it's the energy of the earth serpent, the Jormungandr. Why? It still doesn't make sense, but we're getting a little bit closer now. So, what number is this? 34. I do need a different poem block now for this one. Oh, I pulled up the raw artwork. Rather than the poems. 39 to 51, no, 34. There we go. He had a dream about hot lava pouring out of mountains last night. Have a look at, I haven't looked for ages, but it's been a... So, 34. I'm just quickly scanning it to see whether there's any words I need to... Okay, so chalky scenes of ancient marine creatures transformed and deposited over eons as immovable memories of things that are no more. Irrelevant yet present. Records of times gone, lives fallen, moments lost. The time is right to dig out the old blocks and separate the bricks that should have been broken away long ago. Recalibrate the calcium carbonate. Shift and reshape and celebrate life unshackled. Okay, so Wales. Okay, let's go there. It's some kind of block, and I don't just mean like a brick, but a block. It's something that needs to be put back into your Akashic void. It's something that's probably to do with the astral. And even though, look, we can all believe whatever we need to believe, but when I speak of past lives, they are DNA echoes. They're not you. They're a past life that had a trauma or an unfinished business left by an ancestor in your DNA, and they resonate into our lives because they cause a DNA hiccup, and sometimes we need to identify it to release it, to change ourselves on an epigenetic level. And that's been coming up a lot recently, transforming our blueprints. So I'm going to go with this one. Yeah, I would say that is exactly it. I think we're all being challenged. Look, there is an energy. It doesn't matter how beautiful we are, how loving, how kind, how gentle, we all have toxic energies within us. We do. And we're all constantly trying to avoid letting them out. And that's good. But you still have to be able to identify their shape, their form, their shade, so that we can learn to live with them. Is it somebody else's birthday? Sorry, just going slightly. Is it your birthday, Gustav, and somebody else's or something? I don't know. Right, so this shade energy. Right, come on. Past life, soul explorer, Welsh, in a valley. Yeah, look, it's something, it's an old trap. Oh, on Friday, someone else's is Friday. Happy birthday, Friday, people. Ah, look, this is interesting. 34, 36. It's missing out 35. You're missing out some kind of pathway, some kind of energy. It's your great-grandmother's birthday today. It's my mum's. Come on. Oh, look, they don't matter. What is this? Famine. That's not what that means. Right, this in Wales, there was some kind of famine. So there's a big spillage down here, but they really don't matter. So let's put those back. There was a famine. There's a sort of, and that's an energy that's resonating still. I need to know what the missing frequency is somehow. Let me go with the Lenormand for the moment. Yeah, exactly. Corn. I know, the sweet corn aspect. What's the missing frequency? What's the missing frequency? It's interesting because we're in Taurus, and Taurus is a very food-related card. I feel like this... Oh, look, this is really powerful energy, really loving, really successful energy. But I think that this famine frequency was about... I feel like this ancestor was a feeder, as in they were a baker, or they were a farmer, or they were a... It feels more like this energy... see South Node in Taurus, so you're coming from this frequency. This is a loving, union, nourishing, fully nourished energy that fell to the wayside. It's like being a miller or something. This energy was about how something failed. And I feel like this energy felt responsible, and yet they weren't at all. They weren't the provider. They were the creator, the transformer, the baker, the maker. And somehow I want to say that it laid waste to a community, and somehow there's a sort of, it's like being, I want to say, an energy of having sort of like super empathic powers that hurt. This famine frequency, do you see this? I mean, and this is that color yellow, the solar plexus. It was almost drained. There was this real sense of hopelessness. And yet what I want to say is this is the most beautiful energy. This is the truth of the person. And that drained away. And I feel like you've got this DNA now, because this is the truth of this. This is such loving, nourishing, nurturing, supporting. This is a proper masculine, divine feminine energy, super empathic frequency. But that was drained away in this other life. But you came because that code is in your body. And that's what you need to unlock in you. But there's an anxiety somehow around food, like a controlling of food, or an over controlling of food, or I don't know. Let's ask some more. Oh, Chariclo. Pallas Athena again. So, 2 asteroids. Chariclo, the graceful enforcer of boundaries. But Chariclo took on a new frequency this morning, rather randomly. And that is, we talk about the graceful enforcer of boundaries. And it's kind of shamanic law, it's pathways. It's awakening through illness. And famine creates illness. But the energy this morning that Chariclo had was, how do we, it's about enforcing our own boundaries, but some of the boundaries we set, we kind of enforce upon others, because it's an enforcer of boundaries, graceful, but I think sometimes we don't manage that. And then intellectual warfare. Pallas Athena, you see, oh, whoa, that's your missing 35. $34, 35, and 36. Hurrah! So what do we want to say about Chariclo? It's like a spirit medicine, but there's something about this color yellow, the maize, the cornflower, like the purple, like, oh, okay, so there's, I think it's got this energy of yellow corn, purple corn, and I think of yellow and purple corn as being an Andean thing. And I'm weirdly getting that the energy is actually Patagonia. So there's something that happened, I want to say that, and it was a Welsh Patagonian community. Oh, what's that, Ariel? I feel like this is definitely in that area, and there were no boundaries. People had no sense of being bound to anything. There was a lack of law. There was a lack of order. It was like a new community energy. But someone survived, because it carries into you. You see, I'm going to say that what the energy I'm getting now is that it is not actually in your DNA. Yes, I always say past lives are part of your DNA, but some past lives are actually ones that we live. I think you were this person. And I think that even though I said you came back in to feel that frequency within the DNA, it is in your DNA. This energy, this is in your DNA, but this is a different timeline. That's what this is doing. You've jumped to timeline. There's two voids. Right at the beginning, I was like, why is there two voids? Why is it different? Why is there one from some place and one from another? And until it makes sense, you can't put your finger on it. Look, there's a kind of sense of, look at this again as a sense of the void being rooted in the ground, but also being talismanic, being protecting. There's you. I think you couldn't protect a community, and you wanted to, and there's somehow, even though that frequency has been completely and absolutely dealt with, forgiven, and released, you have a memory of it. And it's been resolved. It's a resolved memory. And that's why it's missing. That's why we had 34 and 36, because that energy of 35 isn't meant to be here. Yes, it did belong to you, but it's got no true relevance to your life now. But somehow it's part of a consciousness remembrance that is attuned or triggered by your current DNA. That's a new idea. Your consciousness finds itself into a new DNA stream and interprets an old consciousness energy that doesn't matter. Never had that before, but that's what it is. What do you need to do with it is what we're going to quickly ask. Let's go with the tarot. Yeah, Cosmic, Eve's keeping a list. I can't keep up. So, what advice is there on dealing with this? What advice is there on dealing with this blockage that doesn't need to be there? This memory that doesn't need to hold or ring? What needs to be done? Get on. Turn the wheel. It's like you've been told now. You just need to allow that moment to pass by, to fall into the spiral, to not be the thing that's blocking you. The wheel can turn again now. You can turn again. Just by knowing that this is an energy memory. Hello, as I said, I didn't know it could be like that. I've only understood it the other way. That you come down with a consciousness, but this is literally your consciousness can remember that story because it's triggered within a DNA code again, even though that DNA code is from a completely different family line. I don't think anyone survived the Patagonia Welsh experience. There are Patagonian Welsh now, but I think this particular trigger that you remember that you lived and you died from haunts you, and it doesn't need to. It's just being remembered because your current DNA has the coding to bring that memory out. Thank you for that. I'm learning on the job. So, Eve will tell me of somebody else while I put the cards back, have some water. Let's put those in separate parts of that deck. Those in separate parts of that deck. Next, see Mystic's Lighthouse. Oh, I'm excited to have a little nose into your world. Definitely know how to dig into your little space before. Yeah, do you know, Soul Explorer? I think you will have to let it sink in. I'm going to have to let that sink in because it's a little bit like being told a story that you weren't fully aware of, but it's almost like being told it so that you can just let go of it. Like you go, oh, I've read that book now, I don't need it. But I learned something myself there. Yeah, because I like your name, See Mystic's Lighthouse. I mean, who's not drawn to that? I am. And I got Manannan on. He's the Isle of Man sea god. So, bells. I need to just stretch my legs. Oh, now the hammock's weird. That's better. Right. Yeah, I really did get something. I got a whole new thought process to think about. It's not as comfortable. Oh, it's turned over, that's why. I'm not turning it back. So, I have to wear shorts. It's so hot here, humid. It's not hot, it's humid. I mean, it's always hot, but it's humid. Right. Here we go. See Mystical Lighthouse. Right, so that's. I got immediately with the first bell, I got the Tudor period. And I thought, why would it be the Tudor period? And they were showing me the neck ruffs. And then they were showing me lace. And then they were saying Chantilly lace making, weaving. And then purple carrots. What is with this purpling just now? So, yeah, I'm just going to remind everyone, look, I'm not the best at doing really short readings. I always try to. But Eve will keep a list, and we will continue with that list. I'll do some others of these. So, Let's get a rune and a poem. Yeah, it's a lot of purple today. I do like a purple carrot. I really don't understand why the Tudor period. I'm just seeing you're saying you're very drawn to that era, but I really got a sense of France, like not being at home in the sort of, like being a traveler, being a ship, maybe being, I can't think of the word, a buccaneer. Let's see what we get. Oh, yes, look. Bilrost. Hemfereld. The Journey Home. Thank you, Eve. Yes, you can send me tips. Then I eat food. The Journey Home, Hemfereld. This is the very final rune. This is the energy on the whole within the space of the deck. When you get everything organized, this is the energy you reconnect to. The Bilros, the Bifrost, is the Rainbow Bridge. Where does the Rainbow Bridge go? Back home. A Hemfereld. Ham is home. Faran is the old Germanic term for a journey. So it's the home journey back to yourself, back to your soul. Well, it might not be in the poem. Can't remember. Let's pull it out. Right, so I know this one's 77, obviously. So, Hemfereld. Let me just scan it. See if there's any words need translating. Oh, I kind of half do remember this one now. I'm really getting French. I'm getting French lace makers, but it feels much more like the clothing has French lace work. There is a real sense of piracy, buccaneering. Let's see this poem. Hemfereld. Living light paths, theories of strings and strands, fragile, frayed threads, warp and weft, all left empty through a meditative connection to every realm. Peaceful vibrations, bridging worlds, and all the journeys lead to the same destination. The heavenly home of you within all things, the unison of all leaves fluttering on the sacred Yggdrasil tree, together in the same mystical wind. I need to read that again because I messed up the end. Living life. This is the hardest one without my teeth. So, living light paths, theories of strings and strands, fragile frayed threads, warp and weft, all left empty through a meditative connection to every realm. Peaceful vibrations bridging worlds, and all journeys lead to the same destination. The heavenly home of you within all things, the unison of all leaves fluttering on the sacred Yggdrasil tree together in the same mystical wind. This is an energy of real, utter oneness completion. You know, Cosmic Ring Collective, I have a slight allergy to as above, so below. Because I think when we say as above, so below, I don't think people really think about what it is. I think it's a bit like when we say mother of pearl and we think of those little shiny buttons and we don't think of the fact that the shell is the mother of the pearl. And I think as above, so below has a really important meaning, but I think a lot of people don't really think through the etymology of the meaning. I'm not criticizing you or anyone. It's one of those words when I hear people say it often, I just kind of want to say, what do you really mean by as above, so below? It's completely irrelevant. I really didn't mean to say that. I want to say the wind message has got something to do with aspens, like little tiny shimmering sequined jewels, and that's also that energy of the jewels on the very most lavish of those kind of gowns. I also want to say there's something about the pirate's treasure chest in this frequency. It's almost, this is a really interesting energy. It's like, you know, you calling yourself a lighthouse, there are shipwrecks, and you go down and someone says to you, oh, quick, there's been another shipwreck. And yes, spiders' webs with dewdrops is another perfect example. They're all tiny things bedecked with jewels. And yet, what I'm saying is, I call you down and I say, help me, there's been a shipwreck. And we pull up all these chests. And I can open all of the chests and show you the contents. And to you, they are just spider webs of dewdrops. You've seen this before. You know, the great fancy jewel, the beautiful, you know, handcrafted, I'm now blind lace work, all of those kind of, all of these things that people covet to possess, that fragment of some beautiful piece of silken cloth, it's all the same to you. It would be just as interesting somehow for you to just, you know, say, you know, I could make myself a hat out of this leaf. That's the understanding here, is the energy that everything is one. Nothing is more special than the next thing just because of the way it's created, crafted, worked. It's just, what do I want to say? It just doesn't, I don't want to say that it doesn't matter to you, because everything matters. In this energy, this is a completeness. This is having gone through so much. There's something massively karmic. But none of that matters either somehow. It all just is. There's a real sense of I think this is about gratitude. Hold the thought of gratitude. Thank you, Ziggy Zoom. Hold the thought of gratitude in case I forget. But I think that's what this is to do with. And I'm going to pull up Odin, Seafarers, Egishalmir. There is a real sense of seafaring, but seafaring, like I want to say, like a cosmic pirate. on some big cosmic ocean ship. And what's interesting is that the ship, it doesn't have treasures, because the treasures are what, like our soul is its own treasure. I know, I quite like that idea of a cosmic pirate. we might have to all have a cosmic pirate party at some point. Work out what they look like and what they're wearing. Leaves. Oi. Irwar. What do you all notice about this? This is the yew tree. This is the trunk. This is also the yew bow. But if you look at it as a symbol, it's like 2 codes short. 2 codes short of the journey home. Hey, and it's so purple. Which is that mystical colour. You're sewing again. It's good to sew. It's good to stitch. It's also interesting, there are 2 arrows here. One up, one down. One that's a new idea of intelligence, and one that has to ground itself in when the idea is found. There's something about purpling your hair, do it. I would purple my hair if I had any. There's something about a new idea, and that new idea plugs you in, and then is like anchoring your cosmic pirate ship. Right, so there's something about a dream, like a hallucination, waking up from a hallucination, waking up from something very, very colourful and realizing it was a dream. Because the yew tree has a hallucinogenic edge to its pollen, and on very hot days it can induce hallucinations for those deeply sensitive. Needleverleer. So, Needleverleer is the roots of the Yggdrasil tree. It's the realm in which the dark elves, as we call them, create physical magic. Something about preparing to battle new philosophical notions. Interesting, you're being armed. Because look, even a cosmic pirate would have weaponry, but this weaponry is kind of like, it's like, oh, what do I want to say? It's a little bit like Thor and his bracelets and his belt that make him stronger. This is energy weaponry that makes you more intelligent. And that's not what I mean either. That gives you an Akashic edge, that gives you an ability to battle the Akashic, to fire great big holes, to absorb, because this is very complete energy. I feel like you're going on a little Akashic sojourn, journey. So what do I want to add? I feel like if we're in the Akashic, we need alchemy. So there's really a strong sense of you needing to anchor your thoughts to battle the Akashic. That's really, really odd. Like you need to leave that lighthouse on so that you don't crash into the rocks. I'm not saying you're going to crash into the rocks. That's not what I'm saying. There's something very mischievously fun about this cosmic pirate. You turned 35 this week. Woohoo, happy birthday, Aria. Virgo, I don't want that. They just said no, it didn't fall. Oh, no, now I know. This is the card where this is the marked card. You are a marked card. In a good way. In a good way. This is the one I bled on. This is bloodlines, old stories. You're going on a jaunt. You've got a ship full of treasure chests, and they're all empty. And they're for soul stories, bloodlines. Yeah, it's not that I didn't want Virgo. It just wasn't the card for the message. It was the message was the blood connection. And it's just come back. I think my nan wants that blood connection on the table. I mean, you know, it is an energy of sorting through things, but that's not the energy. I want the Akashic energy. The thing is, I was getting a real strong image of Ran. I think Ran is like the figurehead on your boat, because she is the one that collects all the treasures at the bottom of the sea. Here we go. Now we've got a pair of cards. Probably be Moon in Virgo. Right, so it's about Moon in Aquarius. This is really coming across as a very, again, anchored fixed frequency. This need to plug in. This need before you go off on your cosmic pirate journey to set yourself like a homing beacon, a trap, an energy that you can definitely return to, your lighthouse that draws you back, because that's 63. So the energy I'm getting with this, you know, on the cosmic ocean, this idea of nighttime, there's a kind of, you've got to be slightly sort of rebellious in this frequency. So 6 and 3 is a tester trap frequency, but it's not 3 and 6. So it's not the normal way. This is like a trapping energy that you're setting for yourself, like a padlock, some sort of code to bring you into this, to return you, to always return you home, Hemfereld. You're going on your cosmic pirate ship but you will always return home. And then you have Juno, and this is the energy of merging, mirroring souls. We just had a load of mirroring numbers. Didn't someone just, Gustav, did you just write 2112? This is what this is. It's about going, I want to say it's like going in to scry the deep, dark, black surface of the Akashic Ocean. And there's something about it that is like, it's a new frequency that, like, I feel like you've read this book before, but you don't remember reading the book. And every time you pick up the book and you start reading it, you keep thinking there's something very familiar about it. And it's something that you've always had in an astral energy, but this is about having it in an awakened energy. So let's get a little Lenormand just to clear that up at the end. I feel like you're about to go on a journey. I don't think you're going to see your story. I think yours feels very complete. You feel somehow like a contentment, and that your bliss is what allows you to ride your cosmic pirate ship and go and fill it up with the soul stories, and Ran will guide you. Right, so we got two, and we got one here that's hidden. So we have birds. Birds is about it's a party sort of frequency. And Ran and her husband were really big party throwers, but this is also about breaking boundaries, the rebellious, spiritual rebelliousness, kind of driving your ship over waves to discover things that on the whole would be, I want to say forbidden to most. Because I think what you're going to explore in the Akashic, I think there's an energy which we all can have at different points. When you prophesy something or you see a possibility, there are certain things, parameters that you have to witness that will be uncomfortable and would cause a kind of PTSD in people. There's certain truths that most people are not comfortable hearing. And so there's something startling about the energy on your cosmic pirate ship. And yet you're going to do it. There's a mystery. This card always has a mystery to it. And you will learn things that you can't share. And then you have Rider. This is the first card in the deck. And this, to me, feels like you riding in on your Ran vessel. And there's a snake, an earth snake, that's part of the anchoring system that keeps you able to return home. This is really feeling like Hemfereld, the guarantee that no matter how far you go off and how, I want to say how sort of cosmically lost you might feel at times. I'm going to be picking up a lot of really weird information. It's not just about lives here, it's about lives in many different fragmented dimensions. And I think there's a coarseness to it that will at first shock and disturb you a little bit, but it will all begin to line up. And that's, again, that energy of everything being one that you need to do this kind of sailing, cosmic booty hunting. And then the hidden energy, look, is there is a star map that cosmic pirates, buccaneers, all of those energies, privateers, it's like this blueprint of how to move through the Akashic record is always available to you. It's like I want to say like it's kind of like seeded throughout your body, throughout your skin, throughout your DNA, throughout your mind, throughout your consciousness. There's something about you, your physical understanding of oneness means that within yourself is an understanding of how to project your cosmic pirate ship anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the cosmos, just anywhere. But it is within the world because it's within you, even though it's dimensions, light years. You've been armed to break through and follow the map, but you always leave that anchor, that lighthouse, to come back to. It's like a really exciting journey. Maybe you'll start reading records of people, filling up the chest, coming back, and then when people say, oh, can you tell me anything about my Akashic journey? You'll go, do you know what? I can, because weirdly, I've already got a chest full of your stories. So that's you. Doo-be-doo. That was interesting. These are all very interesting. It's good fun. Eve is going to tell me who's coming next now. Parry! I don't think I've done you before, Parry. I really don't think I've done you, Parry. So, I'm going to have a little bit of a sip of my water. I really love the way in that last one, it started off immediately with Tudors and ended up as a cosmic pirate. That's called unfolding. Oh, look, luckily, I've got another really warm bottle. Night, Samantha. Right, bells. Oh, ooh, ah, ee, ooh. Yeah, I think you'll be painting a lot of very odd-looking people. I really think you're going to be getting weird energies. Yeah, it is an origami puzzle. I thought at first it said an origami pizza. Yes, tiny step. Right. Here we go. Here we go, go. Parry, 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 parry. I need to change my pelvis. There's a massive scent of blossom coming from nowhere. Oh, it's thick. Right. So there was a sense of the noise of rustle leaves, and then they were showing me leaves being kind of pulled together to make shapes, a little bit Nazca-line, but done with leaves, done with the notion of nutritional echoes of possibilities. There's something shamanic in the energy. There was something else before that word came through that was in the bells. Come back to me, please. What was that energy? Universal architecture as a theme. Universal architecture. That's what the leaves were. They're like taking the resources of the cosmos as leaves, as fallen leaves from the Yggdrasil world tree, and them being like almost like they need to be folded into origami. They need to be combined. They need to be brought together, shaped, and kind of breathed into some kind of structural existence. I need my towel. I'm warm. I'm not warm. I'm humidified. I am humidified. So we need a rune and a poem, Parry. Oh, there was a really cool breeze just went on my thighs. Come back. Right. You can make Yggdrasil tea. I want a cup of Yggdrasil tea now. Might need to be an iced tea. Yeah, I am in my own personal sauna. I have been in my own personal sauna since September. Well, there's a really big wind. I'm going to have to put them down here, or I'm going to be chasing them a long way away. Ooh! The suspense. Right, so last time we were talking about the Akashic Records, which is the Lagu. Lagu is the cosmic ocean. And actually, this card is like the uber cosmic ocean. It's the Ophir Lagu. So this is embraced or mirrored. It's definitely the wind of May. It's the May wind. Tomorrow in Hastings is what we call May Day. The bank holiday Monday in Hastings, about 100,000 people will descend, like 50,000 bikers, and they have their own little festivity. But prior to over with their own sort of party, there is a Green Man festival in Hastings tomorrow, and it's everyone dresses in green and they run around putting green on people's noses, and they have a tree that dances. It's very Idrisil. The only thing is, at the end of the celebration, they tear all the leaves off the tree and throw them. Right, so let's go back to Ophalagu, which is 63. That's also interesting because it's that energy of a personal anchor. Hastings Mayday, Jack in the Green, they call it. You can look it up. It's just basically loads of people dressed in green getting really drunk. When I did it, I was in part of some team, and they have giant puppets, and we had to do we had some kind of giant beach hut on wheels type thing, and I was Neptune, but I wore fisherman's thigh-length waders and then green rubber and painted my beard green. So Ophalagu 63. Now I think this one might have some words in it that need explaining. Okay, so I've explained Ophalagu. Ophalagu is also, it's the higher cosmic ocean, but Ophalagu is also an energy frequency that we get gifted, that we can wear and use. You're wearing purple. Maybe the whole thing's been towards this reading, towards the color purple. So I also need to explain there's a word, a name in this, which is Nithogr, which is a dragon who guards the gateway in hell to a higher realm, and there are many dead souls lying all around it. Sunflowers, see, we had sunflowers earlier. Maybe I've just been tuning into all the outfits you're wearing. Somebody just said they're not wearing anything. And was I tuning in? No. So, Ophalagu and the dragon Nithogr. Have a nice trip, Gustav, wherever you're going. So, Ophalagu, the highest cosmic crest that dances and breaks at the feet of the Elven Ring. A gift so rare, a mantle to wear with mystical, magical secrets breathed into your being by Nithogr, the dragon form the gods use to witness your soul. When you mirror an aspect of their now flawless soul, they may, just may, allow you to channel an Ophalagu. Just you're going 1,000 kilometers. So, the highest cosmic crest, a special gift for you. Let's see what it is then. Or let's at least see what they want to say about it. Nice food. Pitya is only 1,000 kilometers away. I went to a place in Sweden called Umeå, quite near the Arctic Circle. Ooh, you see, that makes sense. An Ophilogu, got them both upside down. So, Baldur and Fe. So, the prosperity of light, this is Elven. Oh yeah, purple and yellow. This is Elven light. This is at the feet of the Elven light. I mean, we know that. That was in the poem. That's really beautiful. But what does that mean? What does that mean for Parry? So I'm hearing the children of Ivandi. And I believe one of those was Idun. But many of the children of Ivandi are the ones that make the gifts. They make the clothes. They make the Ophilogu, the cape, the energy mantle. They're being gifted with an energy mantle. I'm absolutely sure. Wassail Beautiful an energy mantle. Some new frequency that you can work with. What's it to do with? I think I might have to go to the mystical shaman. An energy mantle. Some new like craft that you can tune into. It's a birthright. This is something that's always been part of a destiny. Adal, birthright. It's yeah, the weirdest thing is though, I want to say you're being given this because you're not bothered. It's almost like that's the energy needed to receive this. The energy of being not bothered. I am going to come back to that. I'm trying to get clues as to the name of frequency. Right, let's have a look. I think it's interesting. This card came out first, and Sam looked at me for ages, but it's not. They put through my head all these different connotations of the notion that it's nothing to do with the curse. It's a silence. And that immediately makes me think of Thoggen, the silent one. It's one of the Valkyrie. And Thogan is the one that it's interesting. Thogan came in the eclipse in June, on the Midsummer's Day eclipse that we had last year when I was in Portugal. And she was the frequency that came through that talked about how the keys to your future are molded from the shadows of your past. You can't unlock anything in life if you can't face the past. You told your husband that you were depressed and he laughed at you. Yeah, because there's something about a level of sort of, look, I'm being shown these other two cards. I want you to kind of notice the way in which they're joining up. Like the light of the sun feeds the sun above the holy mountain. There's a loop about this energy, and it's a loop of like this Thogan silence. It's like a wisdom. There was something to do with, they were showing me penmanship. Feather penmanship. And that's this sun has got feathers. This sun is like a kind of phoenix energy. There's something transformative. There's also something about what do I want to say here? There's something to do with Pluto and the sun. So that's what it's saying. It doesn't matter how dark, a situation is, this energy, this is why you have this opalagu. It's like the story you just said. The Pluto cannot block out the light, your inner Thogan, your opalagu. That's why you're being given this. What's the purpose of it? Because it's not just to keep you happy. You were already in that frequency. There's a purpose to having this. Oh, I've got a punchy neck. So, come on, let's have a message. You see, that's interesting in itself. You've got, I talked earlier about you were on a higher ocean, and we got that same energy frequency of the moon in Aquarius. This is about having, but look, we always talk about egos, and we talk about all kinds of things like ego deaths and all this kind of thing. That's not what this is about. This opalagu comes from having a strong ego. Having a strong ego, but not an ego determined to edit the egos of others. That's not the point. It's a strong enough ego to have confidence in itself, to just be. It's about just being. I'm getting perfume again. Really strong scent of floralness. Psyche. The soul's home. This is an energy of, I want to say, look, it's an energy of being deified. I'm not saying we're going to make you a living saint, But what I mean is, it's an energy of understanding. You've got to be able to understand this high elven frequency, this Thogan energy, if you're going to mirror and allow the cape of Thogan to be usable by you in some way. And there's something about love, the breath of love, but also something about glimpsing love, but glimpsing, like glimpsing love through the eyes of the silent Thogan. So it's like having flashes of some kind of God vision, some kind of, it's like, what do I want to say? Thogan of the Golden Quill. Thogan of the Golden Quill. That's, like I have one that I use sometimes, which is Odin of the White Raven. They're saying that this is a kind of Thogan of the Golden Quill. There's a silence. She doesn't speak, but that doesn't mean she doesn't communicate. I mean, when she came through in that reading, her communication was one of the most wonderful at that time. Yeah, I would try and spell Thogan for you. It's really complicated. It's got loads of kind of weird letters in. It's the weird capital. I'll try and get it later. It's in one of the poems. It's THO Thogan, but it's spelt with a P with a. Let me see if I can get it. Just pause, because I feel like you need to be able to look this up. I can't remember what poem she's in. Oh, yes, I can. She's in Nid. So, hang on a minute. I need to open a different file. Cardback poems. Nid. Just give me a sec and I will grab it. Oh, and in the poem, it's Thogan's Golden Key. Let me see if I can just... I'm gonna see if there's few enough letters for me to just give you the whole poem. It's got 58 words too many. Hang on a minute. Let me take out... Right, I can put the first part. And then if I paste it again and take out the first part, there's the whole poem. Let me just read it to you, because I think this is really strong. I don't usually get these energies. We're definitely, my mum's given us a lot of very lovely things today. So this is Nid or Nid. This is the war rune. Okay. So this is the war rune, the fear tune, the battle hymn, the grim song sung too long, the war of one to be one, alone in the shadows. We hold the blooded raven fast, whisper a fresh melody in the silence, murder our crows and grow stronger, Thogan's golden key of life. So that's a really, really powerful message. And clearly, the energy here is saying Parry's done this. It's like we are witnessing something beautiful, a light that Parry's moved through that offers Parry an Ophalagu, a very rare gift. And I'm really, look, I am really quite amazed that I always think that I will do it's down to you to name it. But Thogan of the Golden Feather, is that what I said earlier? That's what came through. So thank you, Hannah. So that's what's coming. This ability. I still kind of want to know what you're doing with it. I think you're just, because they're usually like a meditative tool or a heat. What have we got? We've got Stalk. This is like coming home, Parry. This is having been away. When you put on this Ophalagu, you will feel like you're returning to your soul, your psyche, your home. You will feel blossomed. Blossomed? That's the energy. I'm going to just give one more. Did I start this one by saying you were scraping leaves into shapes that had fallen from the Yggdrasil tree? There is. That's lovely. Well, there you go, Parry. An Ophalagu just for you. You might have to go and kiss the dragon, though. So I'm going to have another little sip. I think Eve might probably give me another name. It's funny with these cards, how there are some cards and you forget they even exist. You just saw a glimpse of the Cosmic Wound Collective. Thank you, Eve. And I just glimpsed the beauty one. I was like, I haven't seen that card come out for a while. And it's interesting how you get some cards that just keep coming. So, long history with leaves. I need a little bit more. That one doesn't taste at all nice. It's so hot now. It's like drinking a cup of tea you forgot and it got cold, but it's still warm. I mean, you know, it had defrosted from frozen within half an hour, and we're now 2 hours, 40 minutes later. So let's get bells. And let's dab my face. Hooray, 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 hooray. I'm gone capital crazy, me. I love a bit of uppercase. Right. It's a pleasure. I will do some more because I'm not sure I'm going to get through the whole list today. I'm beginning to melt. Plus the light will go soon. Right. And there's no lights in here. I wish there was. We got some, I don't know whether you noticed, but my host made me a table to eat my dinner on. And it's from a piece of huge wood. And it's got a big broken hole in the middle. and he worked with the hole, and then his daughters filled it with this series of tiny strip lights, and then it has a glass lid, and then they put a little glass bowl of flowers on, and when it lit up, all the water and all the flowers, so gorgeous. Right, good night, Petra. Yeah, thanks for liking the video. Look, we're on 109. Right. Cosmic Womb Collective. We're here. Do you know what's really weird? I'm being told to ring it with my other hand. I don't ever do that. See what it brings. Change of pace, change of direction, change your hand, something. I'm just going to say there's wind immediately. Spirits coming forwards with something. Right, so there was a really like the whispering of the leaves, the whispering of the trees, the rustling of the leaves. There was there's like a whispering, Chinese whispers, as in that idea of hearing something and then sending the message on. There was something of a tongue twister, something of very fast rustling of the leaves. There was something of like, I want to say almost like babbling codes, but it was tongue twisters. This real sense of, and they were over there, and they were really fast. At one point, I was like, they're a bit rappy, and they're like, no, they're not rappy, they're tongue twisters. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like being tongue-tied, not saying, but this wasn't that. It's about like something whispering through, spirit whispering through trees, something trying to reach you and not hearing. That's really weird, because I also did get ice cream at the very beginning, and I'm like, that's 2 days in a row that I've had ice cream. I don't eat ice cream. Well, there could be something of speaking in tongues. It's almost like elven language or something, tree sprite language, Undine language. There was definitely something of the trees. There's something of a language of the natural world. There's something in... Yeah, I know you're right in trees, but it is to do with, it was speaking above the trees, in the tips of the trees. And for me, the tips of the trees are the kind of the spaces of the heavens, as opposed to the trunks. So let's see what rune we have for you. You've been dancing with them. That's nice. So, Cosmic Rune Collective, you see now the wind is gone entirely. That was bell magic. So there's something about, and now the sounds of cicadas are coming through. There's something, a transformative frequency. It's like the trees have something, but you have to tune into it. Yes, thanks, Erica. It's my mum's birthday. You ate some trees last night, Eve, or ice cream. Ooh, Edburston. Edburston, to burst free. 5-5. I feel like that's talking about in 4 days' time. In 4 days' time, Edburston, Edburston, Edburston. $55. It's not in this set. Oh, yes, it is. Edburston. Oh. So when we had the reading with the Cosmic Pirates, we had about the U-bow. And Edburston is the U-bow. So this is what it has for you. It's made of yew tree. There's something about the importance of a yew tree. And I know that parts of this poem are the specific words for the actual points on a bow. So like the shelf being the point at which the arrow sits as you draw back. So this is about preparing to burst forwards, okay? Oh, as wind talking the Navajo. It is, very much. So, Edburston, 55. Tension creaks and arches as the ancient yew-bow suppresses rayless tortures endured for eons. The taut bow, sorry, I have to start again because it's bound bow. And I've spelt taut wrong. But never mind. So it threw me. So I'll start that again. It's definitely about language because I'm noticing errors in language. So let's go back. Edburston. Tension creaks and arches as the ancient yew-bow suppresses rayless tortures endured for eons. The taut bound bowstring knows a thing has to be set free eventually. The arrow shelf only holds so long, even when the serving point is pulled tight and gripped solidly. At some point, the arrow must burst free of the archer's control by remembering a Fletcher gifted its feathers to fly, safely away, alone, but seeking a new home. There's another error in that one. Going to read it again. It should say gifted it feathers. I have to fix that now. And then I will read it again. This is interesting because I think this is what it's about. Language is fluid, and we can be very vehement about language because that language was not being understood, and yet it's offering a clarity. So, I've corrected the spellings. So, here we go, Cosmic Moon Collective. Ed Burston, 55. Tension creaks and arches as the ancient U-bow suppresses rayless tortures endured for eons. The taut-bound bowstring knows a thing has to be set free eventually. The arrow shelf only holds so long, even when the serving point is pulled tight and gripped solidly. At some point, the arrow must burst free of the archer's control by remembering a Fletcher gifted it feathers to fly safely away, alone, but seeking a new home. So I'm getting a few different energies here. I'm getting that sense of being the archer and not the arrow, whereas it's time to be the arrow. It's time to fly. It's time to seek a peek behind the trees. It's giving me burps and hiccups. I feel like there are frequencies here of there's something about the name. Not you. I don't mean you need to tell me what your name is. That's not what I mean. But there's specifics. Archer. That's a surname people get because they come from a family of archers. People who have the name Fletcher come from a family of Fletchers, the people that make arrows. And like you have Coopers, the people who made barrels. There's something to do with to name a thing is to know a thing, but it's not quite like that. It's a line. It's, wow, that's interesting. So they're saying to name a thing is not to know a thing, but to assume a thing. So it's like, I want to kind of say, I think you were given, look, I don't mean the wrong name, because it is your name. But there's something about your name that isn't your resonance. And I'm not saying go out and find yourself a new name. It's just an energy. You need to burst out of the restriction of language, word, definition. Oh, you see, there you go. So your name is Carrie, and it's never felt like you. That's what I'm getting. I feel like it somehow... Look, I'm not saying you were misnamed, because you weren't. You were given the name, but the name isn't your power. I can imagine as well that at some points Carrie in the past has been a difficult name because of the association with the film as well. You've been on the verge of changing it. Maybe you do. Maybe you need to shoot the arrow to fly. Don't tell us what it is, what you want to have necessarily. Yes, they do absolutely carry a frequency. I mean, you know, I get a little bit of a giggle out of punning mine into rustling around. But on the whole, I always felt like it wasn't the right name. And then later I thought it was funny because it's a noise, Russell. And I am quite noisy. And it was a given name. And that's the whole point. They're given names. They don't have to be owned. You can own your own name. This is weird. I've gone for a different deck of cards straight away. Wassail Rhonda. Oh, she sent a message to my mum saying thanks for birthing someone wonderful. I'm not taking that because I was too busy singing Rhonda. Yeah, carry. It's not a verb. Yeah, cash and carry. Right, I am going to get the right deck. Sorry, I need to go. I need to go into Odin. I think there's something about a thirst for a new frequency, and it starts with a name. Look, even if for the moment you don't change it, but you just think of yourself as having a different name, that begins like they're showing me the idea of internal scaffolding being created, like to change your name, to change your DNA. That bamboo scaffolding, I got that in a message again the other day. I've got a card that's turned up, but I'm not going to take it. I'm going to show you. It's the Promise of Bliss. Don't have that as your name, though. Names are fascinating. There was a woman, Geraldine, and her name means spear holder. Names have wonderful messages behind them. I think it is sometimes Carolyn, but not always. It can be Carrie Ann. It's not going to be a curse when you change your name. You can go by any name. You get given a name and then you can choose a name. Geraldine Jellybean, I like that. Right. We've got two cards. Ooh. There are some links in these readings. So look, Ran has turned up. She's shaking shit free from the net. She's not casting a net. She's shaking out all the stuff that doesn't belong. She's bursting out of the confines from the bottom of the ocean. And Idun. I have to say, I have always liked that name. I'm not saying pick that one. You'll pick your own name. I just... I've always liked the sound of Idun rather than Eden or Iden. Idun. There's just, there's certain... I think what we're saying here is you need, when you explore the change of the language, to feel the sound of the name in your mouth. You need to say it out loud and see how comfortable. Does it excite your molecules? Does it make your biome feel like it wants to grow and shine? It's interesting. I mean, the tree energy needs exploring. That's where we need to go. I feel like I'm not saying you will, but I get this sense that you're going to look to the tree and the trees to find a comfort with your name. It might be that you talk to the trees about names, try out names. Maybe it's the name of a tree that you need. I mean, it's really interesting because I'm being drawn constantly to a tree that grows in Mexico that's an oak. And it doesn't look anything like any oak tree that we have in the United Kingdom. And, it's a symbol. The oak trees are a symbol. But actually, Mexico has more varieties of oak tree than anywhere else in the world. So there's something about the limitless possibilities and how you need to explore calmly. I mean, I don't think I'm going to find a name within the next 2 weeks. There's something much more long-term about this. I'm going to go, I haven't done this. I need some mystical shaman. I need to know what this tree connection is. Because this isn't just about your name. This was about an energy of the trees whispering language to you. Oh, did you say a name and I missed it? Let me just go back and look. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? So the name is Nirvana Tsunami. Look, the thing is, I don't know what name you need because it has to be your choice. And I like the play on those words. There's an element of an oxymoron about it, like something that feels like it couldn't be together and yet when put together creates something really powerful. So you have Earth, and when the card fell to the Earth, the energy that was going through me was, after I just said, I don't think the name's important, they were like, no, that's the whole point. That is the thing. When the name is right, the trees will speak. And look, plum like a tree, see? That's a name that has a connection to a tree. I'm not saying you have to name yourself after a tree. Also, I'm not trying to say what you should do at all. You have to find your name. But I love plum trees, but I actually like damsons the most. Damsons are my most favorite fruit ever. I would have damson everything. It used to be rhubarb when I was younger. No, this is about Cosmic Room Collective, because I'm going to use that name still for the moment, because that's how I know you. This is about how this name will unlock mysteries in the natural world, languages that you will hear somehow. Right, so yeah, I am absolutely sure it has begun, but there's something about like an unblocking, a clarifying, a much stronger, literally like a psychic connection to trees. Sacrifice the old name. Sacrifice the old name. It's 44. It's like a master frequency that turns a wheel to change a dimension or something. I like the spelling of plum there, silver or silver. Come on, I want to know from the trees. I want to know from the trees. I want to know from the trees. I got a bit wet. It's gone in my water drippage from my bottle of water. So, what do we have? The sun and the luminous warrior. And this is let go of the old name and move into the frequency of the new. You will shine differently. 5332. There's something about moving from the 5 to the 2, from the change to the path. There's something about a different path can open up for you with this name change. I'm not trying to force it on you. And you don't have to do it officially. It just needs to be, and it doesn't have to be a first and a last name. It just may need to be a name that you want to be known by. Where's this pathway going then? Frequency shift. Oh, you have made the change. Fabulous. Yeah, look, third eye, this is the energy of the moon. So you got the sun and the moon. There is something relevant about this tunnel. There's something about yeah, so you've made a channel with the name. Cool. Pick your new names. I'm not picking the names. I'm just suggesting that sometimes we can change our frequency and make new energies. So the veil will lift. The shadows that we keep will drop. There's an energy of silver, softness. It will feel like the energy softens around you. And there's aspects of your hidden soul, because the sun stands before the light of the luminous warrior, the hidden truth of your soul. The wind is now returning. We're getting closer and closer to the truth that your frequency, the light of your truth, is somehow blocked by your given name. And by sacrificing it, your body, your physicality, your biome, your everything will begin to change. Sublimation, conversion, Libra frequency. So this is the energy to run from, to jump from something frozen, missing out all the in-between and just going to the gaseous stage. So going from being under the roots of the tree, missing out the trunk and the branches, and suddenly being catapulted into a higher sublimated frequency, vaporizing, stimulated, and spiritualized. All in a name. So, I think I'm going to try and do just one more, Eve, if I can. I hope I can. I feel mean when I can't fit everybody in. You've all sat here so patiently listening to other people's stories. Although, you can bring the energies into your own life if you feel they fit you. Brandy! So, you know, my mum and dad were going to call me Russell or Alan. I can't say I like any of them. But I'm so used to my name. But I don't know why I would want to be called if I wasn't called what I am. Names are very deeply personal because they resonate frequencies. You know, I might choose a name that sounds very exotic. Oh, it's a beautiful blue bird, very exotic bird, flashed in front of me. And would that work with me? Or would it be seen as cultural misappropriation? I don't know. Allying around. Yeah, it's not a name I've ever been really keen on, Alan. Although weirdly, I did notice a headline today. It might have been in America somewhere. Some kind of restaurant called Alan. I was like, I wouldn't want to go and have a meal there. Might have been in California. Right. Brandy. Oh, this is really tricky, Brandy, because there's some part of this energy which is about that's something about like a thought anxiety, like when you're in company, there's an energy frequency of worrying that you're going to forget what you're going to say next, because that's what started happening. When it first so Alan's turned up, Twitty. When it first came through, I was getting a lot of clicking of fingers, which feels like an energy that you do to yourself to wake yourself up to things, but it's also an energy you wish you could do to other people to make sure that they're really paying attention. I feel like, look, it's not a pleasant energy, but I feel like you feel unlistened to. Like you really want to kind of go, excuse me, I'm talking. That's what was coming through. But there is this, but overriding that, I had to really hang on to that energy. It was that frequency of worrying that you're going to forget what you're going to say. Gonna click in my. Oh, okay, Brandy. That's not a good one. That's not a good one. But if someone tells me to shut up, I used to have that as well because I'm really very noisy. And so So there's this it's an energy, it's like a red rag to a bull. If you tell me to be quiet, I'm just going to be noisier. I'm just seeing asks a lot of questions. So we're going to go with the rune and see what we get, because the bells don't necessarily contain a message. They sometimes just set a theme energy. So let's see. Brandy. Brandy. Can we have a rune, please, for Brandy? A rune for Brandy. Ian Fife, Brandy. Night, Meg. Right, come on, we want a rune for Brandy. We want a rune for Brandy. Come on. Bye, Erica. Brandy, Brandy, Brandy. Why will you not give us a rune? There we go. Crap. Crap. Now this one was in Pick a Rune. I think. Right. 29. I need a dab of the towel. My eyes are stinging with salt coming from my sweat. Crap. So I need to explain in this, there is a giantess who's called Orbotha. And Orbotha was it's very confusing, but she was a kind of goddess energy that was kind of accused of being sort of like a witch 3 times and burnt. And every time they killed her, she came back. And there's a thing called the Otenseer, the Earth Seer, or the Eaten one, is an energy that comes through as well, because it's to do with molecules and truth. So here we go. Thrice burnt, thrice returned, famed and renamed, forgotten, yet recalled by Odin from her gravelled realm. Orbotha, old one of the ironwood grave. He asked this Eaten seer how she cheated death. He listened but did not hear. You might cheat your past and rise, craft another future and rise, but the now will eventually find you. Our vessels are from the earth, and they will be returned there. So there's a couple of interesting things. First, the touch paper to the next, but also this one echoes right way back to the very beginning, the very first reading. Also, he listened but did not hear. It's like that energy of you being told to be quiet. They didn't want to hear what was within you. Okay, you feared death as a child. Well, this is a woman who rises from the grave. She's not, I mean, in many ways, she's just not killable. She may return her molecules to the grave, but her consciousness can reclaim those molecules and reform and appear. And there is an energy of being fated within this. So let's go into Odin and the Nine Realms. Odin and the Nine Realms. Can I read it again, please? Of course I can. So, Earthgrap, thrice burned, thrice returned, famed and renamed, forgotten yet recalled by Odin from her gravelled realm. Orbo, the old one in the ironwood grave. He asked this Idensir how she cheated death. He listened, but he did not hear. You might cheat your past and rise, craft another future and rise, but the now will eventually find you. Our vessels are from the earth, and they will return there. Not you, but they, people, our molecules return. But as I said, she can call these molecules back to materialize her consciousness at any point. Bye, Moza. It's a pleasure. I've enjoyed writing the poems. Well, I say writing them. I mean, I have been crafting them, but there's a lot of channeling going on with them in terms of the energies. So, Brandy. The now will always find you. Oh, look, Mushpelhamir has a hidden energy. There's a hidden fire that you haven't connected to. I feel you're frightened by your own passions. I think there's an energy because Sukra brings Ragnarok. Odin goes to see Orboða to ask if he can avoid Ragnarok. And she says, no, the now will always find you. Life will always catch up with you. I'm not sure yet, Brandy. I think partly because I think all souls are ancient. I think we were all made at the same time. I think, but I don't know. Let's see what comes. You see, look, Isa is to grip onto something. Earth grab. This is the moment. I want to say this is the moment when we first incarnate and our energy, and this is an ice giant, and this is a fire giant. In Norse mythology, where fire meets ice, life is created. You were created, and yet there's something about I want to say you fear being alive. You fear there's power in you and you're frightened by it, is what I'm getting. But to have, I've never had the fire and ice giant come out together. That's the point where the two realms meet and the spark of life begins. But it's also, remember, it's also the end of a cycle where it replaces, the fire dies down, the ice reforms, and the molecules go back. Okay, so are you the 13th or the 5th? Or are you the 5th or the 13th? Do you mean the 13 death card and Hierophant, so the 13th or the 5th as your birth cards? Well, there is a 13th month in some counties. Oh, okay. And you've got the son of a giant. You've got Loki. It's time to shift. So you began with Urthaboda. You've got a fire giant. You've got an ice giant. The point at which life is created. And then you have Loki. This energy of transformation. Mystical transformation. So I'm hearing that phrase, standing on the shoulder of giants. Standing on the shoulder of giants. There's a overwhelm, but also rib there. Like a heartache. Someone's put in Wassail someone's put in like a spare rib pain. Someone's rammed some kind of trauma. I'm feeling physical trauma though. Here, just at the side of the sternum. Not very good with bone names. Loki can be mischief, but Loki's only mischief to the gods. When Loki's in the world of the giants where he's from, remember Loki's taken as a hostage at the end of one of the wars to keep the giants at peace. Odin doesn't adopt him out of the goodness of his heart. He's a prisoner of hostage. Is that the right word? Okay, so you have had a broken bone there. It's really uncomfortable. Does it still hurt? Oh, okay, I'm with you now. There is a heartache energy here. Let's find out. What can you do about this heartache? What can you do about this heartache? So we have one card called, which is the energy you need to find. So it begins with the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands has got a low-key energy to it. It has got a mercurial energy to it. There's something like, it's like somebody shot your heart with a cruelty, a love arrow of cruelty. And it needs pulling out. It needs to be removed. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is to reorganize and to come out of like this mushbell fire, because you've really here, you've got 13 wands. So there's almost like this energy strikes you like a kind of muse. And it comes at the most weird times. And when it comes, you fall down the rabbit hole, and then you sometimes come to and you say to yourself, how did that thought, how is it that all thoughts keep leading me back into that frequency? And then here we have Ninlil. I think that the actual goddess Ninlil may be really helpful. Enlil is her consort, or they're the flip sides of each other. He opens the heavens and the earth, the space between them, to create space for humanity. But humanity often wanders that space in pain. Ninlil, she brings that energy, a kind of healing energy back through. So you have to choose. This is the card Court. There is an energy available to you if you're willing to work with it, and it's Empress energy. This is the energy of right now. This is Taurus energy. This is mending holes. This is putting everything back in the flow. This is creating, I want to say, like a new union with you to bring in a union with others. I don't want to say self-love, only because that's too easy to say. There's something about this which is self-appreciation or appreciation. You're being given an opportunity to transform into something self-appreciative, so that then you can appreciate the quality of you in another. What else about removing the heartache? What else about removing the heartache? You see, look, on the bottom is the Lovers. I don't usually look at the bottom of decks that often, but sometimes I say, look, and it was in reversal, but it is the 3 and the 6. The energy is there, but you need to seek a divinity, the 9. Now, the divinity seems to be self-appreciation. Yeah, and there is something about, I would say, there is a theme of toxicity, a leitmotif of toxicity in this eclipse tunnel, evaluating it. You know, there's both masculine and feminine toxicity. And here is the 9 in the bloody eclipse tunnel. This is your opportunity to heal, Brandy. But you have to decide. Bye, Holly. You have to decide. You've got the 3, 6, and 9. You've got the divine code. And this is always the eclipse tunnel for me. The sun and the moon. Journeying through, there are the 8 wands, so that you can bring yourself into a newness. You can remold yourself during this tunnel. I suppose I should hold them that way. So this is about you evaluating what's toxic about that heartbreak and why can't you move past it? Because it's blocking your co-creative ability, but hidden in this Empress frequency, which is Taurian. It is the new moon, and it will also be where the sun still is at the end of the eclipse. This is moment to transform. Doesn't mean by the end of the tunnel you're suddenly, being some kind of loving relationship, but you will be in a loving relationship with you. That's the shield that you need, self-appreciation. So let's see if we can get of astrology on that and see what that has to say. Right, Spirit's picking up the wind now. There's a cooling energy. There's a humidity coming around, but you have to choose to seek it. Sulfur, cardinal modality, a renewal, a new season, new ideas. This is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. If you go to my readings of the 0 degrees or columns that are taking place that start today, and you can do them, over the full period, or you can start them late. You can do them whenever you want, but the energy is transforming around you. The 0 degree point of the cardinal signs marks the seasons. So there's a really new energy coming. You defining you differently. Renewal. New season. And Vesta. Completion and a new beginning. Vesta is the inextinguishable light. The standing in your power. It's the energy of being at home, the hearth, being at home with you being centered. And it's magnesium. When you burn magnesium, its spark is so bright, it's almost blinding. You need to find your blinding frequency. It's all there, but you have to choose to move towards that. Yeah, you see, so Fortuna being in Taurus is saying you have an energy where your fortunes can be made in that period. It's not the only time, though. It just means that this is the moment when that energy turns on. Here's 0 degrees new moon now. It may have moved a little bit, Kathy. The moon moves quite quickly, but it was at 0 degrees 10 minutes before the eclipse. Yeah, Vesta is investments, but I would say the investments here are in yourself, self-appreciation. Invest in you, Brandy, and you will find a new appreciation of life. Because when you get to the full moon on the 16th, that's in Scorpio. That's transformative energy. You've got the full code. You've got the 369. Enjoy this period of finding self-appreciation or self-love, depending if you want to say it. 10 degrees already. That means fast. I mean, after all, it's got to get all the way to Scorpio by the 16th. And actually, it's at the very late degrees of Scorpio. So, Brandy, it's all there to be taken. But this energy is a reminder that at any time, you can stand back up in your own power, change your molecular story, and bring your consciousness to a new level of appreciation. Thrice burned, thrice returned. but endlessly, because actually when Odin calls her, she returns. You can always return when you decide, 369 is creation in the Tesla code. I've lost card 3 or 9. 369, you've got that there. Fire and ice, that's creation. Life is trying to work with you. The Empress is fecundity. She is the thing that births all life. Oh, she's in my hand already. There's the most wonderful energy. So I would say, find your own heart, find your own inextinguishable fire, and shift, change, transform, be somebody new. So that's that one. So I've been on for 3 hours, 42, 34. And I think I really should go and stop. Thank you, brilliant consumer. And I don't know whether I'll do this again tomorrow or the next day, but within a day or two, we'll do this again and I'll catch up. Everybody say a big thank you to Eve, who kept a list. I'm not sure how many I did. 6 maybe? It's not many, is it? So, it's a pleasure, everybody. I like doing those because they have stories, because they tune into individual energies rather than collective energies. Oh yeah, thanks Kathy as well, because Kathy's been in here moderating. It's a pleasure, Cosmic and Collective. It's good to spend time with everyone. It's really nice. I did 7. Woohoo! 7, lucky number 7. Uh-huh. Yeah, thanks to my mum. It's odd. The one thing I didn't mention earlier, weirdly, is some people say that the 1st of May is also Lilith's birthday. Oh, look, Zig players, I can't really, it's just gone up. Try and come back in when I do another one of these readings, the personal ones. I'm so sorry, but I've been here for 3 hours, 45 minutes, and I need to go and get a proper cold drink. And I'm hungry now as well. Yeah, it's very possible. Their birthday's on the 1st of May. I don't know where I read that. It was very long ago. The only reason I remembered, obviously, it's my mother's birthday, and my mother is called Lillian, or was. And it always made me amused that Lilith and Lillian were the 1st of May. What's for supper? Well, I have got some bread that I made yesterday. I ate all my spinach with my bread last night. I've just got a little bit more bread to cook up. Maybe I might have it with some tomatoes and onions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't thought, actually. Garlic, of course. What else have I got? I've got a lot of spring onions. Oh, satay sauce. I've got satay sauce I made. I'm going to have that. Bread and satay sauce. And maybe potatoes. I can't resist a potato. Your nan was Lily. Yeah, I've been having some really nice food in the last few days because my gums don't hurt now. So I can kind of mash things a bit more with my teeth. Although yesterday I went to the dentist and he tried several dentures, and every time they've been in there for longer than 3 minutes, I gagged. I couldn't do it. And he keeps talking about opening up my mouth and seeing if they can fit some more implants in and seeing if I can react better to them. And I don't know what to do. But I'll decide in my own time. I'm not going to worry about it. I've faced my trauma, which is to come on here and talk to you without any teeth. And now that I've done that, I kind of don't care if I'll ever get any back. Yeah, Lily, it's a good name. Oh, I was trying to suppress that then. I knew I couldn't. So, beautiful people. Yeah, the auntie pile. Auntie Lily. Lilies are for funerals or weddings. They're a beautiful flower. Just have them whenever you want them. I think of them as differently. I always think of Aran lilies as more funeral, but I love a stargazer lily just for its perfume. Yeah, I did have it when the moon was favourable. I checked all of that. In fact, astrologically, everything was favourable. And my spirit guides and everyone said everything was favourable. And as soon as I had it done, they were doing like, pero, but. And then they just kept giving me, every time I shuffled cards, a series of tower moments, towers. And every time a different tower moment appeared in the lack of healing process, another tower card came out. And I was like, when do the towers stop? So, yeah, I always follow the astrology. And the moon was perfect. And there was wonderful conjunctions. And yet, it wasn't what I needed at that moment. Ooh, orange tiger lilies. Your teeth snapped. I ground mine to pieces. It's horrible. And I don't know what my solution is yet, but I will just flow with what comes. I'm not making plans. If he says to me one day I want to do this, I'll see how I feel that day. Thank you. My face, I have to say, since yesterday has been feeling very, very, very hot. But it is humid here. You know, we're in the rainy season. It hasn't rained that much, but it is much more humid. So I'm going to go because I really am hungry and I probably need a wee after 4 hours. So, beautiful people, I will see you all very soon. And thank you, Eve. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone. Bye.